Hello, Christian metal community. My name's Jimmy. We got Jay on here.
Yo, what's up, y'all? We're
Doing
live from the
great.
car.
That's right, from the car. Today we got Maine and Charles from Tricord. How y'all doing?
What's
Good,
going
good, man. How
on?
are you?
Doing great. Awesome. So, Maine, we'll start with you. So did you grow up in a religious home?
Yes and no. Okay, so like my mom, before her giving her life to the Lord and stuff like that, made sure we at least went to church and stuff. Especially, uh, even though she wasn't going to church and living right, she was at least, making sure that we were going to church and living, trying to learn about Jesus and stuff like that. Because at the root and heart of how she was raised in church and raised with strong biblical backgrounding and all.
Nice. All right. And Charles?
For me, I was kind of introduced by a friend in middle school. At about 13, I went to youth with him, and he started doing praise and worship, and I thought that was pretty cool. I had just got into playing guitar fairly decently, a little bit, worse than I do now. But I kind of got into it then, and then that led my brother and my sister to come with me, and then after we graduated and all that, kind of spread out, did our own things, and kind of been back at it for about 13 years at my home church now.
Nice.
Nice, very cool. Well, so let's talk about music. Did you all grow up in musical homes?
Yes. For me, I definitely did. So, my great grandfather was I mean, he played for church, but stylistically, he was a blues and jazz guitar player. One of the most clean guitar players I still know to this day. Just so like music has always been a thing. Like everybody in my family has a huge musical background. So like and just a love for music. I think about like my great grandfather, for instance. He would listen to BB King one minute and Conway
Yeah,
Twitty the next. Uh, my grandmother, she would be listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire one minute, and then Lady Antebellum the next. And so I grew up in a very very diverse musical home and family, and music has been something that has always been strongly encouraged. So like fun fact about me, I am a saxophonist. I grew up in band,
Okay.
playing saxophone and stuff, and my family really really pushed me into playing saxophone and just being the best that I could be at it. And so because of that, and when I went to college, I went to college off of a musical scholarship
hmm
um, to play saxophone and all. And uh, even though I didn't finish college and all, and I'm, a dropout, I still ended up
understand.
learning all kinds of other instruments and learning how to play multiple different instruments.
That sounds like my story. Like literally,
That's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
literally,
Yeah.
very, very similar. Wow. All right, cool. All right. What about Charles?
Oh, well, for me, I kind of, I don't know. I was told that when I was real little, I was like a little entertainer. They would dress me up like a sailor. I had hair like Shirley Temple, almost like I do now. And I would like dance around and sing for
Nice.
everybody. But I had an uncle who was a drummer in a pretty big band from the southeast back in like I think the late 70s, early 80s called Cameron. And about 3, 4 years old, I remember he was playing at Coach's Corner in Savannah. And after the set or whatever, they took me on stage and let me pick on a banjo and a guitar. And I sat behind the drum kit. I
hmm
remember he had this beautiful blue sparkle pearl drum kit, and that just lit a fire in me. So like I did choir from fourth grade till I graduated, but guitar, bass, and a little bit of piano.
Yeah.
Charles is the king of technical difficulties. This is crazy. That's so crazy that Charles just. All right, he's back.
Fun
Hey,
fact
Shannon.
about me.
See Seymour.
Fun fact about me is there's always going to be a technical difficulty. Long story short, I
Yes.
did have a good bit of musicians on my mother's side as far as drummers and guitarists and pianists. And I'd say on my dad's side, he's really good at playing the radio and botching songs up pretty good. So that's pretty much the extent of that.
Cool. So what do you all play? What instruments do you all play in the band?
I am the guitarist.
I play bass when needed, but I'm the lead vocalist of the band, the front man. The lead noise maker is what I always tell people. I'm the lead noise maker.
Yeah, you're an amazing vocalist, by the way.
Oh man,
We'll talk more
I
about it.
appreciate that.
Oh,
What happened?
Go on, go on,
We
throw
got
it on the track.
we got C Payne over there, Charles.
Right,
Charles
C-Payne.
C Payne. That's funny,
that's
man.
awesome. Well, Maine, tell us what part of the world do you reside in, and how did this little band known as Tricord come to be?
Man, okay, so this is a story. So, I live in my hometown, Jessup, Georgia. I moved back here around 2015. Uh, and when I did, I was praying about some stuff, and I felt like the Lord told me to, just kind of do music. So
Okay.
I started this band called Forever in Majesty, and Forever in Majesty was a project. uh, so fast forward a few years through. Forever in Majesty had all kinds of members in it, man. Like at one point we had two female vocalists in it. At one point we had we had like two different drummers. It was crazy, man. I went through some musicians in that band. So long story short, around 2019, we went from like a 6-7 piece band to uh, about a 3-piece band, and I brought in one of my buddies named Corey to be the drummer, and the lead guitarist at the time, Zach. We just kept the train pushing, just kept the thing going. So Corey ends up meeting our first producer, Chuck Hutchison, in McRae, Georgia. And so we go meet him Super Bowl Sunday. So like we go meet him Super Bowl Sunday. He invites us over to his family's house. We're watching Super Bowl, eating dinner with him, and just meeting this guy. And man, Chuck's just an amazing guy. Great hearted dude. And so we is that me? Nope, that ain't me. So we end up, vibing with him and meeting with him, and we work out a deal to try to get into the studio to record with him. So I was like, all right, so we need to kind of like fill the band back out, guys. Let's try to hold some auditions and get a manager and this, that, and the third. So upon doing some auditions, we got another guitarist in the band who, for the time being, was like just playing on bass guitar, named Joey, and we hire one of my mentors, Nick Holt, as a as a manager for the time being. So when Nick becomes the manager and we start trying to get other people to fill in, Nick was like, "Yo, let's rebrand the band. Let's drop Forever in Majesty. Let's just kill it off. It was the thing of the past. Let's go with a whole new different approach." So we started coming up with names. We came up with like 42, like 40, 41 or 42 different names. And Tricord actually was the very last name put on the list.
Wow, that's
and
a
where
lot of
Tricord
names.
came from, yeah. And what's crazy is, here's the cool part. We didn't just come up with a bunch of names. Every name that we came up with and put on that list, we made sure there was nobody named that band in the whole entire world. So we're talking about like 41, 42 different names that are unnamed bands on the whole entire planet. And so Tricord came. I was in the book of Ecclesiastes, just studying through the book of Ecclesiastes, and this was literally like the morning before we made the final decision on trying to vote for a name. And so I'm in Ecclesiastes 4, and Ecclesiastes 4:12 just really like popped out at me. I'm going to paraphrase it a little bit. It was one can stand and be defeated, two can withstand, but a triple braided cord cannot be easily broken. And so like when I read that triple braided cord, I was like, triple braided cord, tricord, tricord. I was like, oh man, that's kind of cool. So I looked it up. I the only thing I found with tricord with the spelling that we have and all was some corporation named Tricord. And I was like, yo guys, I got one more name to add to the thing. This is where the name came from. This is the Bible verse that triggered the name, blah, 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 blah. And everybody's like, oh, cool, that's kind of neat. Honestly, even me, at first, I was not dead set on that name. I didn't even want that name. I had another name on the list that I really wanted us to be named. But long story short, we started voting. We started knocking it down, dwindled it from like 42, 43 names to about 20, then 10, then 5, and then Tricord ended up being the one.
Was the other name you wanted, was it actually Blue Fire Horizon?
No. Those are boys though, man. Shout out to Blue Fire Horizon.
That's awesome.
Hey, nah, I like their name. Their name's pretty fire. No,
Yeah.
Actually, the name that I really wanted is going to be a name I'm still going to use, but for something else. But it was called The Reckless Endeavor.
All right. Nice. Well, I like Tricord. I mean, it is stuck with it now. It fits you though.
It does. It's so befitting. Like I think God, like sometimes I look back and like think of all the names that were on there and some of the really cool names that I thought we were going to be named, like the Ninth Hour or some of those other names that were on that list. And I was like, you know what? I think Tricord was literally the most destined name for us, like possible.
So what? So 13 minutes, that wasn't an option either?
They were already taken, man.
It's funny when I first when Jimmy started initiating this interview, when I saw the name Tricord, I actually was thinking about musical terms. I was thinking like the tritone. You know how the tritone has been so I guess it's been so demonized over the years or whatever. Like even to the point where there's a few Christian bands that would not be named that were afraid. Like this is literally a true story. Like they were afraid to play tritones in their music because of the connotations. This is actually a true story. But
Yeah.
I'm glad to know, it was when you started talking about Ecclesiastes, I was like, oh wow, this is a very different angle to come from for the name Tricord, but I love it.
Yeah, a lot of people think that same thing. They think it has to do with before we were Tricord, before we were 3 of us, we were 5 of us. So some people think, oh, you're named Tricord because there's 3 of you guys now, and less than 3 now.
2.5.
Just 2 of us technically. But no, it has everything to do with Ecclesiastes. Like everybody, the tritone thing, most standard chords are three notes, and a lot of people think that's where we got the name from. But no, it's Ecclesiastes 4:12. Even on our bracelets that we sell on our merch table, it says Tricord on it, and on the underside of it says Ecclesiastes 4:12.
Nice. Yep. You gave my son one of those, I believe.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah.
My son was just in here trying to be nosy who I was talking to.
Yeah, I'm jealous now.
Well, I told my son, I said, you remember your friend from the show? I said, I'm about to talk to his dad. He's like, no way. So, yeah. So that was the first time I've gotten to see Tricord was at the Breaking Darkness Fest, and that was a fantastic show. And I really love the energy that the band brings. And even when you weren't on stage, like Maine was in the mosh pit, y'all were getting, Charles was hanging out, y'all weren't like just in the green room the whole time. You're there for the fans, you're hanging out, you're talking to people. And I think that's where a lot of the real ministry happens, right?
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah, on and off stage.
Yo,
That's a good point, man. And I get it. I get it from the perspective of people who do that, artists that do that. Like, for instance, the larger we're growing in this, the more I'm starting to see the perspective of it. Like, I understand why because a lot of people who do it, who like stay in the green room until they get on stage and off stage, are the vocalists, and the vocalists have to
Absolutely.
really preserve their
Yep.
voice because that is their instrument. So like a lot of times you'll see like maybe the guitarist of the band or the drummer of the band, but you'll hardly see the vocalist of the band until after they've done their set and stuff. Like I know like the bigger we get, the least likely it's going to be for me to be out there at the beginning. But like at the same, because there's been times where I started losing my voice just because I was running my mouth too much, and the guys were like, "Shut up! Don't you say another word until we're off the stage."
Right.
So I get it, but like I want to be personal. I think what makes Tricord so unique as a band isn't just like our music or our sound that we're developing. I think is the fact that we are personal with people. Like even the interaction on social media, man. We try to make sure we interact with fans as much as possible, and even try to know people on a super personal level. Now I know obviously like we get 20, 50, 100, a million fans, it's going to be a lot harder to do something like that.
Sure.
But for the time being, we want to make sure that we're always as personal as possible because I never want us to get out the mindset of we're here for a reason. We have a thing called R1. So every time we go somewhere, whether it be in the gas station, Walmart, the restaurant, where the festival or the show itself, we always look for our one person. Now, 9 times out of 10, it's more than one person, but one person that we deeply impact, deeply influence, and deeply change the trajectory of their lives moving forward. So that they can walk in the purpose and the calling that God has for them. And so I
Mhm.
think that's why we linger around and do fun stuff too, man. And we like to support the other artists, man. Like I never want to be like if it gets to the point where we're like a disciple or a Seventh Day Slumber or a Skillet. I never want to get to the point where we're just. I want to support the artists that are with us, like that we're doing stuff with. I don't. I just never want to get to that point, like
Yeah.
because it's about kingdom building, and I think a lot of Christian artists have lost that mindset and that heart of what true ministry is, because true ministry isn't for us, it's for those that we minister to, and it's for it's the heart of Jesus Christ being in things. Now yes, we do have to retreat. Now yes, we do have to
Yep.
exercise wisdom and discernment where we are and what we're doing and stuff like that. Yes, we have to do things like that, but I want to make sure that other artists feel the love, support, and everything. One of my favorite things to do is before we play somewhere, I like to listen to the other artists who are performing music so I can
Yeah.
be up
Nice.
front singing their songs with them. I think that's cool. It's cool to see like
Mhm.
people out there singing your song with you and stuff like that. So like, I if they're a smaller artist than even we are, then I want them to know that there's somebody out there that's listening to their music other than their family that is singing their songs and know their songs with them.
Yeah, I dig that. It makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely. So let's talk about your music and the releases that you have so far. Like as far as the yeah, like maybe what's your favorite song? I'll tell you one of the songs that stood out to me, and I'm gonna pull a Jimmy here. What's the what's the story behind your song "Fix Me"?
Oh, okay. Okay. So our former drummer slash fill-in drummer right now, Corey. That's a song that Corey wrote the lyrics to. We obviously tweaked it a little bit. And Charles came up with the riff of "Fix Me." The Charles was like messing around with that, and I was like, "Hey, let's do that in 6/8." And then we just flowed with it. It was unreal, like how that song came together. But the story behind "Fix Me" is Corey.
Yeah, no
I'll
worries.
try to give it as briefly as possible, and I can't tell it as well as Corey can tell it. I wish he was here, and he probably would have been on this interview. But his you guys pray for him. His grandfather just passed away last night. So if it
Right.
wasn't for that, he'd probably be
Wow.
here on this interview and be more than happy to explain the story. But Corey was in a very dark season,
Mhm.
going through a divorce and everything, and he started making some poor life choices because of it to try to win his wife back. partying with her, drinking with her, just completely stepping out of line of the will of God just to try to win his wife back. And when he realized how empty he was, he tried to commit suicide one night. So he was walking on a particular road, and his idea was he was going to jump in
Oh
front
wow.
of the next car that passed by. And he said that's a high traffic road. Like constantly there's traffic going through, going by and stuff like that. And he's like, as a matter of fact, before I even started walking on that road, there was so much traffic it was unreal. And he said the moment he started walking on that road, all the traffic ceased. And he just had a moment where he was just talking to God and just fell to his knees off the side of the road and just said, God, fix me. I don't know what to do. And so fix me is just kind of like some of the heart cry of that
Yeah,
moment
that's
for
really
him.
interesting because I think that um dealing with mental issues and dealing with like such heavy topics for sure. Um, it happens sometimes in music. I do think that like rock and metal for sure definitely attract. And I think we were talking about this in another recent interview about the way that like it's said like the genre and the whole culture tends to reach out to people that are having like mental issues or just that kind of thing, and how obviously um, people can see Christ as a solution, to some of the issues that we have. But I mean, I think about the secular bands. I mean, that like mental issues, all the way back to Metallica or whatever. They're definitely they're like the poster boys of writing songs about mental issues. So
Yeah, for sure.
and a lot of people follow suit with that for sure. So having people out there writing songs that definitely point to God, I think is completely necessary for sure. So I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no
man.
doubt. So let's talk about your last single, "What You Got." How did that song develop? And was Charles a
Riffs.
riff master for that one too?
Yes. Yes, he
His
was.
name is Strings.
He's the riff
Charlie,
master
aka
of Georgia.
Strings.
It's ADHD during practice.
Charles, you kicked the devil out of Georgia and became the riff master. You beat him in the violin
Man,
and everything else, right? Anything with strings.
I don't know if it's ADHD or autism or what, but I can't focus on the task at hand, and we can't even tune
Yes.
up without me noodling.
That's okay.
That
God can use anything.
that's right. I mean, hey, I'm proof.
Oh man.
But yeah, what you got, man? I think we actually wrote "Fix Me" and "What You Got" in the
Nice.
same exact practice,
We sure
like
did.
literally back to back. It
Wow.
was like I was noodling while everybody's trying to set up, and Jermaine's like, "What is that?" And I was like, "I don't know, something I was just messing with." He's like, "Yeah, we're working on that." And I think we knocked out. Which one did we knock out first? I think it was "Fix Me," and
No,
then
it
"What You
was what
Got,"
you got.
or "What You Got," then
Because
"Fix Me."
I sat and wrote the lyrics for what you got on site, on
On
spot,
site. That's
right
right. That's
then,
right. So
right then and there.
What You Got was the initiating riff of that practice, which became a full song. And then I started noodling. No sooner we finished that one, Jermaine's like, "Well, what is that?" I was like, "I don't know, something else, I guess." So we kind of knocked out two. And I'll say this, it's taken us a year to get the three or four that we've got going now. So yeah,
Nice.
y'all be ready for those. If what you got Fix Me tickles your fancy, you're definitely gonna love these new ones.
I'm all for it.
Oh
And
yeah.
you all have a nice like modern
That's awesome.
like hard rock metal sound. I think there's such a lot of bands that we have been interviewing recently have definitely been along the lines of like deathcore, hardcore, metalcore, death metal, you know, or they've been like totally classic metal, like some of the legends and the people that like kind of listen to '80s metal.
Yeah.
And I think you all are like maybe somewhere in between that with more modern metal. Like what I do want to talk about your musical influences. I will say that at first listen, it kind of reminded me of a cross between, I would say, Seven Dust, Alter Bridge, Kill Switch. Um, let's see, who else? Let me think of who else. Yeah,
All of them.
so yeah, so what?
That's
Man, Seven Dust and Alter Bridge. You could have went with see,
Seven
Seven
Bridge.
Bridge for the
Was
name. I
that
mean,
was that an option for name? No,
no, no,
Alter
that was
Dust.
not
Yeah,
good.
Altar Dust.
Alter Dust.
Yeah, so so
Alter Dust kind of sounds cool.
Alter Dust.
We're
Yeah,
Okay,
Alter
nigga, let's make that
Dust.
43 now.
that's right. Yeah, so Charles, who is your guitar influence and
Yeah,
main and you
exactly.
as far as singers and all? Let us know, and then how did it come about? Also incorporating the rap elements of the band.
Okay, well, of course, like any other guitarist, it's hard to say just one, but I think the most influential or the most studied favorite guitarist I have would be John Frusciante from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I could only wish to play a
Yeah, he's
fraction
definitely
as
one of them.
good as he can. But yeah, ever since I like, believe it or not, growing up, I was into Backstreet Boys and then sinking on until I got a
Nice.
guitar at 8 years old. And then I had somebody introduce me to Nirvana, and it was over from there. Well, once I stumbled across the Chili Peppers, I was like, "Yep, this is
Okay.
my favorite band." So I'll stick with him. But I mean, all the greats. You pick and pull things from all the greats, and it kind of shapes who you
hmm
become as a guitarist.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I definitely knew that it was more along those lines of influence rather than saying, hey, like you know, August Burns Red or something like that. So that's cool though.
Right. I'm trying to still slash his look.
Nice. No disrespect, no disrespect to ABR. Right? We loved him. By the way. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no disrespect. Uh, I that's always a hard question for me, because for me personally, I wouldn't say believe it or not, it was crazy. I loved singing growing up, but I think I liked being a musician more than I
Understand?
liked singing growing up. So like I wouldn't say that there's specific singers I love that influence me. I would say there are specific artists and stuff. So believe it or not, fun fact, Michael Jackson is my all-time favorite artist. Hands down, like the
Mm.
dude taught me how to dance, the dude taught me everything. I used to
Sure.
mimic everything Michael Jackson, man. Michael Jackson was my junk.
Yeah.
I would say vocal influences though. Howard Jones from Killswitch Engage, when
Okay.
Killswitch Engage had him. Boys to Man,
Okay.
because you just the
Yeah,
harmonies are
true.
just it's Boys to Man.
I mean,
Uh, and I used to be a huge Linkin Park fan, so as you guys have probably already started guessing and noticing, like Tricord is transitioning into more of a new metal style of music. So I believe new metal is an extremely dark genre, and I believe that the Lord is going to give us great influence with that. It's one of those things, man. And I think every artist struggles with it. Sometimes just kind of having like a identity dissociation in a sense. And one thing I've had to learn to do because I fought because a black guy who can rap. I fought certain things like for a long time. So, but I had to get to a point where I was like, you know what, Lord, what's Tricord's lane? Where's Tricord supposed to be? We play with a lot of really heavy bands, and I'm just like, like I'm just like, dang, we can be heavier, we can do this, we can do that and stuff. But I'm just like, you know what? They have people that they influence. Tricord's going to influence the people that Tricor's going to
absolutely.
influence,
That's a
and
good
that's
point.
that. And so, uh, I think one of the things that's why I said earlier, I strategically said, developing our sound is because I feel like we finally have found our sound, but we're still developing that sound.
Yeah,
If it
no,
makes
that's
sense.
part of the journey. I love that.
Yeah, for sure. So like, and it kind of keeps you in a humble mindset of not thinking like, oh, we made it, kind of type deal. Yeah, we've played with Disciple more times than most people ever get a chance to in their career so far. We've played with a couple other top artists in the industry and stuff like that, and that's cool and all. But I'll never get to the point where I
Right,
want to be
right.
like, we made it. Like I want to always grow and develop because the idea and the mindset of we made it leaves room for complacency, and complacency has no room in your walk in development with Christ
Wow, that's so good. Speaking
and
of
as an artist.
bands that you've played with, how good is Ignetic, man? They are so good. Didn't That was awesome to
Bro.
see you up there supporting them. That was so good. Also, I love that you had your song, your song. I can't even talk. Your son sing on a song. That was a tough sentence.
Oh man.
How he
That's the
sang.
half of the two and a half of Tricord.
Oh,
Yeah.
He gets the
Yep,
half
yep.
member.
well, dude, he killed it, man. I mean, that was so cool, and I love that, man. Starting them off. That's called parenting done right. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
So
yeah.
Man, he eats it up.
Yeah, it
yeah,
does.
I bet so. So Charles, we'll start with you, and then Maine, you can go next. What is one thing about you that people watching this might not know?
Um, well, let me tread lightly here. Let's
The
see.
the world is yours.
One thing that people may not know.
I mean,
Okay. Even though people tell me I'm a okay guitarist and stuff, and I can hang with, the top dogs we play with, I have like this. I'm my own worst critic type deal. I feel unworthy, I guess would be the term. Even though I know I'm called to do what I'm doing, it's kind of been like a battle ever since I got into music as a kid. Just like realizing the way life is, not everybody gets to walk and do the things they dream of since their childhood. So for me, it's like I guess beating myself up thinking I'm not that good of a guitarist, I guess. Even though other people say I do okay. So as long as I can keep the blue notes under control and the technical problems.
nice, awesome, man. Well, all right. And Maine, what about you?
I'm not gonna go where he went. uh, so, oh crap, sorry.
I mean, it
Somebody
could
was asking
be.
me about Bible study. Sorry
It,
about that. All right, so a fun fact, I guess something most people don't know about me. Uh, Before doing Tricord, I actually performed as a professional dancer. Not like a weird, not like
Elaborate, elaborate.
yeah, I was about to
Whoa.
say, not an adult one.
Not Chippendales.
Yeah,
See, I wasn't going there.
no,
That's where your mind went. See, I was thinking, oh, you were a
no,
backup dancer for
Yes.
Grits, right?
yeah, like some
who,
stuff like that. Yeah,
who
yeah.
started as a backup
I,
dancer for DC Talk, by the
Right,
way.
that's true. That's true.
Dang, that's crazy. I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
That
That's
is, yeah,
Oh
wild.
absolutely.
no, for real, they did.
Dang, that's wild.
Do you
No,
remember?
man,
Jermaine
I
tried taking Trey Tate's job. Not Trey Tate, Michael
Michael
Tate.
Do
Michael
it.
Tate.
J.
Go for it.
So, do you remember the band in the late '90s? Do you remember Sonic Flood?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, that was a band. They were called Zilch before that, and that was DC Talk's band. That's where that band came from. DC Talk,
Yep.
and Grits came from DC Talk.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
Influence,
Yeah,
man.
man.
How about that? But yeah, I used to. I'm and I still do. I don't cut the rug like I used to, man. But I love dancing. Like
That's really cool.
apart from my family being like musically inclined and all, dancing. We're all dancers, man. Like uh, we love dancing. I've done everything from like ballroom dancing to like I dubstep dancing to being a backup dancer for a couple of artists and stuff like that. I love
Oh
dancing, dude.
yeah, was Take Six one of them? I just had to ask. I just had to ask.
I can do the worm.
Man, Take Six is amazing, by the way. Love them. It's my dudes.
They sure do come up in heavy
That's
metal
right.
interviews often. Ain't that funny?
We need.
It
I gotta
really
get them
is.
on a
It's
heavy metal
interesting.
track. You ever listen to them, Jermaine? Take Six.
Who?
Take
Take Six?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I know who Take Six is.
yeah. Jay knows those guys.
Get the heck out of here.
Jay knows everybody. Don't let him fool you.
man. Yeah, man, that's cool. Okay, here's a question. What's your favorite thing about being a Christian? Both of y'all. We can go the opposite order. Maine and Charles.
Okay, cool. Do, 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 do. My favorite part about being a Christian. That is a crazy question, dude. Like, I feel like that's a question that can go on and on and on and on and on.
That's what we're here
Yeah,
for,
man.
brother.
Like, I know. I would say probably my favorite part about being a Christian is knowing that I have relationship with the Creator of the universe, and knowing that you know the Bible says, "He who endures to the end shall be saved," and Jesus already warned us and told us in this life we're going to have tribulations, but take heart, I've overcome the world. And I think the most beautiful part about being a Christian really is the relationship aspect. I don't think a lot of Christians get
Yeah.
relationship with the Lord, and how important a daily relationship and walk with Him is. Like, uh, in my Bible study, actually, it's kind of cool you asked that question because, like, one of the things I was going to chime into with the small group that I'm hosting and all, is the fact that before the fall of man, it said that God came down in the cool of the day to walk with Adam. And so after the fall of man, the stench of sin was just too great for God to come and commune with us again in such a way. So he predestined his only son, Jesus, to come and to be that bridge, that mediator between God and man again, so that we can have that relationship. And I love the fact that my favorite part about being a Christian is that there is truly no loneliness when you're walking with Christ. There's truly no emptiness when you're walking with Christ. There's truly, will you have those moments and those thoughts and those where you feel that way? Yes, absolutely. But when we just fix our minds, as it talks about in Isaiah, on the Lord, then we walk in a perfect peace. Being a Christian means, yes, life sucks, and we still got to endure the crap that everybody else endures, but we get to walk in a peace. We get to walk in the nature, and we get to walk in a spirituality that nobody can understand. The world looks around and doesn't understand. Oh man, you just lost your whole entire family. How are you still going on? Oh man, you just lost your job that literally paid all your bills and you were a single income family. How do you keep going on? Oh man, you got cancer, but you're still smiling and have so much joy. They don't understand that because they don't walk in the same relationship that we walk in as believers. And even as believers, man, we gotta check ourselves because we don't walk in the fullness that God has for us, man, at all, man. It is so depressing and sad to watch people who are quote unquote Christians not walking that. So I would say my favorite part about being a Christian is my relationship, not my religion, my relationship with my
Love
Lord
it.
and my Savior
I'm
and
here for
Creator.
it.
That'll preach. All
I'm
right.
trying not to preach.
Hey, it's all good. All right, Charles.
Well, Jermaine kind of got my Kool-Aid a little bit, but I guess my favorite part, growing up, life has never really been a bed of roses. It's been a challenge, and different events and all led me to believe certain things and feel certain ways and battle certain demons. But at the end of the day, once I realized, what salvation was and what forgiveness was and how to truly, just release it and accept, you know, um, what he has in store for my life, not what I think the world has for me or what the world thinks it has for me. Um, that's kind of like the unworthy thing. It's kind of I guess it's going to be my staple thing now. Thanks to Malin for my custom outfit.
Hey.
But that thing is hard. But anyhow, just feeling, battling depression and anxiety and, uh, rejection, and to know that there is a God that loves us and that he do anything, like, leave the 99 for the one. He sent his only son to live and die for us. There's just like doing this with Tricord, I'm pretty sure any of us could have joined a secular group and, did the world thing or whatever, but God led us, He ordained our steps to be where we are. We each had our own walks in life, our own struggles and challenges, but at the end of the day, we survived 100% of our bad days, and God
Amen.
was always there, never
Amen.
turned away from us a near time.
Man, that's so
So that's that, like Jermaine said, it's kind of an endless topic. There's not one thing that's greater than the other about being a Christian, other than being a Christian.
wow.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Awesome. So, what can the Christian metal community do to help support Tricord?
Prayer, pray that the new material that we work on and that hasn't been revealed to us yet is, what the Lord wants His people to hear in these times. I'm sure we all know we're in trouble sometimes right now, and if music is our weapon, then not just Tricord, but all of us need to stand together and use it and fight as one. It's just
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's really good, man. I love that. You got
Yeah,
any closing
just
thoughts?
to ditto. My bad. Just to ditto that a little bit. Yeah. I think the more I have been, and I'm not saying this, in a braggadocious way or anything like that, but the Lord has really, really called not just me, but many other people who are or friends of mine who are spiritual friends of mine into this season of just intercession and fasting. And the more that I fast, and the more that that Holy Spirit reveals to me, the more I'm starting to realize, like, even the how I should conduct myself with writing lyrics and stuff like that. And I think that when we get this album finished, and I think it's going to be a huge, huge thing that's going to really revolutionize the music industry altogether, man. God has just been chipping away, chipping away, chipping away. I know personally with my heart, like the most. I've been repenting for dumb stuff, man. I'm serious, man.
Hey, it's
be
all
Like,
good.
repenting for not repenting.
yeah, I repent for dumb stuff now, man. Like, because I don't want my heart and my mind uh anywhere apart from God in any kind of way, especially with trying to do this album, because I believe that this album is going to be a call to repentance. I believe that this album is going to be a call for men and women of God to arm themselves for what's to come in the future, and in preparation for the coming of return of our Lord Jesus Christ. It's not how I would have probably wrote it in the first place, but since I've been, interceding and fasting in the way I have, I'm starting to see what God is doing, and even with the people that He's starting to partner with us. So, like, if I could ask for prayer for anything, man, like prayer for the right direction.
Okay.
He's already been sending not just one producer but multiple producers our way to help us, that and for divine wisdom and discernment in knowing. I think someone's at my door. And knowing what who to go with, who to partner with, and and the words to say and stuff. Like, even before I record vocals and stuff now, I'm fasting and praying before I even touch that mic,
That's awesome, man.
because I want the anointing of God to be on me so thick and so heavy and stuff.
Man, that's so
I'm going.
good. Well, we're definitely looking forward to what they have in store, and like you said, everybody be in prayer for just the band, the safety, the lyrics, the ministry, and if God's in it, I'm excited to see what's going to happen, right? So, well, thank you so much, man. This has been great, and looking forward to your fans getting to hear this interview and finding some new
Yeah,
fans
man.
as well.
Yeah, man. We appreciate you so much.
Yes, thank y'all.
You guys were fun.